now I turn it over to Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
How's everyone doing today? I just want to thank you guys for having me here. I hope what I say to you, I hope it helps you understand addiction better. And I just want to be honest with you, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. I'm just going to tell you what addiction, what drugs and alcohol did to me, my friends in my life, and some of my family members. I'm from right down the street in Bedford, Mass, born and raised. I lived there my whole life. I still live there now, and I love New Bedford. I'm very pro New Bedford. A lot of people, I think, get the wrong message about New Bedford. My uncle was the head basketball coach at New Bedford High for 27 years. So New Bedford sports, red and white, that was very important to me. Very average athlete on those teams. But what I found out I could do is I found out I was a good partier, and I could drink. Never had a lot of self-esteem. I was always a very self-conscious person, no matter what. Sometimes I'd have to drink 6 beers just to call a girl because I'd be so nervous. Every time I went out in high school, some of my friends would drink. I would take it to the next level. I would black out. I don't know if you guys know what blacking out is. Blacking out is when you get so drunk you don't know what's going on, but you can still function. And I started hanging out with older guys my senior year. Guys that were seniors when I was a freshman. And I got a fake ID, and I started going to the bars with them. And I thought it was great. I thought I was the king of the world sitting on a bar stool at 17, 18 years old. And when I went away to school and got a chance to play football at Western New England College, I wanted to take it serious because I wasn't a serious student in high school. I never did my homework. I cheated on tests, and I was lazy. So I wanted a chance to prove to my parents that I could do this and go get a degree. But I didn't realize how hard you had to work for a degree. I thought it was going to come as easy as high school, and that wasn't the case. So when I went away to school, things were going well with football. We had a pretty talented team. But I couldn't handle the fact of all these parties around me. Partying to me at the time was more important than football. And by the end of my freshman semester, I was asked to leave with a 0.0 GPA, $10,000 down the drain. And I was drinking every single day. I spent all the money I had in my bank, and I had nothing to show for it. I never learned, I just kept doing it. The cycle just kept repeating itself over and over. And then one of my best friends died. And because we got into an argument in our last conversation, I tried cocaine when I was 18. I started doing it again. And when I started doing coke, I became wilder. I would already drink so much where I would throw up, I would black out, I would get arrested. And I thought that if I could take cocaine and I could drink more, that would be great. Then I could stay up last. Then I could be the last one standing. And I would stay up till the sun would come up, and then I'd go to bed. And on the weekends, that was my cycle. My whole paycheck gone. All to drugs and alcohol. And I did this for years. But as I did this, check this out, right? I still worked, I still coached sports, and I still played sports. I was able to function on it. Because when I would wake up on Monday, disgusted with myself from all the drugs and alcohol I did, I would be like, I'm not going to do that for a little bit. And then usually Thursday or Friday, it was repeat. I was going to do it again. Because in the back of my mind, I loved it. Even though I knew it wasn't great for me, I loved it. And I had an opportunity to meet with a coach at Stonehill, who's one of the top Division II programs in the country. The weekend before my interview, I got a DUI. I called my uncle. I said, what should I do? He said, well, I just call him and tell him you can't do it. The year after, still have hopes of coaching. The guy shooting for me today is Wilson. He's one of my former players. He played for a school called Bloomfield College in New Jersey. They were playing at Bentley. Now, my whole family's there. My cousin's on the team with Wilson. 2 New Bedford guys right down the street in Waltham. Bentley's got a great program. They have a great program. It should be a great game. Well, what I did was I decided to drink, get coked up, get liquored up, and in front of the whole audience, in front of my whole family, and in front of all those Division II coaches that were sitting up in the bleachers that I was trying to get jobs with, I got taken out with handcuffs. And the whole crowd from Bentley stood up and clapped. So all this humiliation, And all this negativity I was bringing in my life was self-inflicted. And then the worst thing that ever happened to me happened. I blew out my knee. And when I blew my knee out, I couldn't work out anymore. I didn't even really go out. I had no money saved. I didn't hurt it on the job. I hurt it playing basketball. So I sat on my couch with prescription pills. And I fell in love. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. I loved it. And I kept getting script after script. And then the doctor said to me one day, okay, we're going to take you off them. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And I went home and I took a piece. And I loved it even more than I loved the regular Percocets the doctor was giving me. I took a third of it. And I kept calling them. When you do drugs, guys, it doesn't have any color. It doesn't care what race you are. It doesn't care if you're rich or you're poor. I've seen so many people die. When I would be in this auditorium, when I was your age, I'd probably have smoked because I thought it was cool. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, it's so important for you. When you're 18 or 17 or 16, you're trapped in a moment, and you think that moment's going to last forever. But it doesn't. It's gone. And anytime you come to that road and you turn left when you should turn right, it could come back to haunt you. One time you get in the car. One time you do a drug. One time you shoplift because you want a shirt. Everything we do affects our life. And I wish I could go back to high school now. I would give anything to go back to high school now, to be in these bleachers, to listen to someone, instead of being so stubborn and being so ignorant and being cocky. Because I really believe through hard work and dedication, nothing in this lifetime comes easy. Nothing in this lifetime comes easy. But you can be anything you want to be if you work for it. But you've got to be willing to work for it, and you've got to be willing to sacrifice. And now that I look at it, the drugs were the easy way for me. Because when I was 26, 27, 28, 29, see, my friends weren't partying as much anymore. My friends were with a significant other. My friends were buying houses. My friends were having kids. They were getting married. I was still living at my parents' house, in and out, back and forth, because I couldn't afford to pay the rent. Because I would spend every penny on drugs and alcohol. Tears would be running down my face, and I don't cry in front of anyone. Sniffing heroin, saying, please God, just don't let me do it. Because that's the effect it had on me. Towards the end of my addiction, before I was able to get clean by the grace of God, I would steal my grandmother's jewelry she left me. I would steal stuff from my mom. I would steal stuff from stores, whatever it took. So we went in this kid's house we were going to pick heroin up off of, and he was like drooling and sleepy, and he didn't really know what was going on. So we cleaned his house out of all the computers we could. We took some tools. And the scary thing is that I'm the only one that's still alive out of the 3 people that were there that day. Both those guys died of drug overdoses before the age of 35. Think about that for a second. See, the thing about drugs are, there's no second chance if you do it. Because if you try it one day, and there's something bad in it, you're gone. Just like that. Dead. I promise you. Some people may do it 100 times and they don't die. Other people, once, boom, dead. So what I was doing, when I would go in and out of my treatments, and when I would go in and out of the detoxes, I just couldn't give up the fact that I couldn't drink anymore. As bad as drinking was for me, I still wanted to drink because I still thought I needed it to be socially accepted. So one of the detoxes I went to in Fall River, my aunt worked at, and she said, please don't get high before you come in, Nicholas. I had to pull a lot of strings for you to get in here. I said, Auntie, I always get high before I go in there. And I didn't. I listened to her. I respect my aunt. So what I did was, I went to this place in Fall River. Now, the reason I'm here today, and the reason I'm sober, is because of, do you guys know who Chris and Mike Herron are? Just raise your hand if you do. So Chris Herron is a former star for the Boston Celtics, Durfee basketball. He's from Fall River. And they started a foundation called Project Purple. And they're the ones that helped me get sober. You know, they sent me to treatment.